We are, after all evolved. We're all cousins. At what point in the evolution of, since we know evolution is a fact, at what point in the evolution of humans would you suddenly draw the line and say, right, from now on they're all human, and before that they're not? In the evolutionary progression from the common ancestor with chimpanzees, lived about 6 or 7 million years ago, to modern humans, going through creatures which might have looked a bit like Lucy, might have looked a bit like the newly discovered fossil Ardi. Would you have given special human, moral, ethical consideration to Lucy, or would you count Lucy as though she was a chimpanzee? Does this perhaps suggest to you that we shouldn't be in the business of drawing lines between species in this kind of way? Maybe these lines should be regarded as more fuzzy and less clear-cut. Are absolutist moralities that do draw hard and fast lines between humans and all other species, even taking a human fetus and calling that human, and whereas an adult chimpanzee is not and doesn't deserve the same moral consideration, is that consistent with science? These are ways in which science can at least inform moral discussions. You can, I suppose, make a utilitarian justification for obnoxious practices. You could make a utilitarian justification for torture. Moral philosophers sometimes pose the hypothetical case where the world is about to be blown up. Only one person knows the secret password to stop the doomsday bomb going off.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That is God punishing Richard Dawkins. It's exactly what it is. God's got a voodoo doll, goddammit.
Secret password to stop the doomsday bomb going off. This one person is a suicide bomber who refuses to give up the password. Are you right to torture him? And most people, I think, say you are. I mean, it's a horrible thing to torture somebody, but under those extreme conditions, to save the world, you would torture somebody. So, and that would be a utilitarian justification for an otherwise obnoxious practice such as torture.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
This is Don Imus. You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. You're going to like it, or I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, Don's not kicking anybody's ass. I do kick ass, actually, when I have to. It's amazing what a person can do, even when he's got some medical issues, with a surge of adrenaline and some training and some natural strength. Yeah, so I'm always willing to kick a little ass. Speaking of kicking a little ass, heard a Spreaker host who had been banned from Spreaker recently basically crossed the line. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but when you're fucking around, just like in hockey, you're responsible for your stick. So if you catch somebody up high, even if it's accidental, you're going to the box. You may be going for 4 minutes, 2 minutes or 4 minutes. If they're bleeding, you go 4 minutes. So this guy did a thing on Spreaker wherein he combined a pornographic type of image with a kid. Oopsies. So he got banned. He got his account deleted. Now he's got to do the free account thing where you can only have half-hour shows. And there's a huge story going on now about how he says he's found a loophole in his back end, and there is no loophole. You only have enough storage space for like 4 or 5 shows, and you got to start deleting them to make new ones if you lose your paid account. My account, of course, is paid by iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio buys you the station plan when you're accepted to iHeartRadio, so you get the full Monty. I mean, it's $119.95 a month plan with thousands of hours of storage, and you can actually run 24/7 radio. You can run recorded shows that keep a record for up to 5 hours. All kinds of benefits to being in iHeartRadio as far as the cost goes of the Spreaker account. But if you have a regular paid account, a lot of people use this like $20 a month account, and I think they get 45 minutes or an hour per show, maybe 2 hours tops. And he lost all that. He got kicked off, and there are other people that are going to follow because of this gross misconduct, is what I'll call it. And he says it doesn't bother him that he's back, and I would like him if I could somehow get a message to him, because I don't talk to losers. It's almost like talking to negative people. You just want to, you throw the trash out. It goes in a green thing out by the road. You don't put it beside you and try to understand it. You throw it out. So there are people that are going to follow in his footsteps now and be banned from the platform, and that's a good thing. But they should read The Fox and the Grapes. Yeah, it's a child story, I know, but some people missed that book growing up, apparently. Yeah, sad thing, isn't it? Terrible, terrible, sad thing. But I'm not here to pick on Spreaker hosts. I don't enjoy that. There's no joy in that for me. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I like to see justice. I think we all have a sense inside of us of wanting to see justice. Now, lots of us have this complete delusional understanding of our own infractions against general justice. I don't. I know my mistakes, and there are a million of them. There are people out there, and I know you know some, think they're fucking perfect. Go ahead and try to blame them for something. Catch them doing something, and then try to blame them. They will point in every direction except inward. He caused it. Well, what do you see? People trip over the fucking nothing on the ground. They're going to look down. Something must have did it. Wasn't me. Wasn't my own retarded, uncoordinated self. No, had to be a goddamn log jumped out of the sidewalk. Yeah, people that will not accept blame for anything. I got plenty of things I can blame myself for, and I'm ashamed of them. But I'm also honest about them. It's just not something I talk about. Why would I come on a radio and list all my failures? The people close to me know my failures. Some of them have made on repeated occasions, brought them to light, which is unnecessary. Once I'm aware of a failure, you don't really need to keep bringing it up, but you can do that. You could do that. That seems to be the way some people feel better, knocking others down. And we just did a show on Polly Pissy Pants, which you can look at 3 or 4 episodes ago. It's a good show. You should listen to that one if you're trying to understand negative people around you. And this show, though, today was about liars. And I'm feeling a little militant about it because the people are doing it now with this sense of almost diplomatic immunity. I'm going to lie to you because I know you, my audience, want to hear this. So I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. Fuck the truth. What is the truth? And they want to create doubt, right? Now, what is the truth? Well, the truth is what can be shown in a lab. The truth is what a recording device would have recorded if it could have recorded everything in the universe. Past, present, and actually future. We don't know which way we're going on the time scale. A recording device. It recorded every word ever spoken, every act ever committed, every fish that ever turned into something else. It recorded it. Had no opinion about it. Just recorded it. That's the absolute truth. And I like to try to know what would be on that device if such a device existed. And that is the driving force of my search for truth. We all search for truth. Some of them are uncomfortable. I'm encouraging you to take it like a splinter. You'll pull it out. You'll pop it out. It's like a zit. It's a blacket. It's a splinter. It's a bullet. You're going to pop it out. But take the shot. Let yourself feel truth, even if it hurts a little. Let yourself feel it so you know what's real. And then, as I've said so many times before, if you want to go off into fantasy land in your own time, go for it. Just know that's where you are. I have full respect for you if you know what the most accurate truths are out there today, but you choose to, in your spare time, for fun or for some other reason, to go into a drifty kind of don't need so many facts for this type of belief system. I get that. Your faith, I'm not ever going to question your religious faith. I've got no argument against it. I don't know what to argue against a religious faith. I think blind faith is dangerous, and I think we've proven that through human behavior records over time. But if you have faith and you have a reason to believe in your faith, go for it. And if you're an American, I'll die for your right to have that faith, no matter which religion it is. This includes the Muslims, honest, tax-paying Americans. Okay, if they serve Allah, I will die for their right to serve Allah. Would you? Because if you wouldn't, you need to, and you're an American, you need to question how close you are to your Constitution. You need to question it. If you think, as I heard on a radio show recently, that pedophiles ought to all be rounded up and put on an island and bombed indiscriminately, then you should look at the 8th Amendment. We need to get that out of there if you want to do that, because we're not allowed to have the cruel and unusual punishment. So it might be a good thing for you to do. You can get a pocket Constitution on Amazon.com for $1. Take a look through that thing. and see how close you are to it. You might not be very close to it at all. And if you think it's wrong or some of the amendments are wrong, you can start action to get them changed. And I hope you do. If enough people believe what you believe about a certain amendment or a certain statute or whatever in your legal system, and you move to get it changed, it's going to get changed through public pressure. You can make changes. But don't pretend you're this ultra hyper American. And what bothers me more than anything is hearing people always talking about the First and Second Amendment, and they're all about the First and Second Amendment. First Amendment, Second Amendment. First, I'm going to say what I want, I'm going to do it with a gun. I'm going to say what I want, I'm going to do it with a gun. As soon as you say something that is in opposition with what they say, all of a sudden your First Amendment shouldn't be so liberal. Oh my God. It makes me want to throw the fuck up when I realize how stupid we are sometimes. Tolerate people who have views that differ from yours. Tolerate them. Do not tolerate lies. Don't do it. Don't put up with it. I wouldn't. Maybe you will. I wouldn't. I think on the way out, the only appropriate song, considering recent events in Europe, to play, and this is not because I am hard-hearted. It's just that if you look at the death statistics over the spectrum of global causes of death, one plane going down with one nutty pilot, 150 dead, it hurts those families. It does. But it's really nothing on the global death scale. It's really nothing. Look it up. Look how many people are dying a day and from what? This plane crash is nothing. It's a zit on the back of Father Death, or whatever you want to call him. Who's the dude that carries the sickle? I can't remember. Grim Reaper? Yeah. Grim Reaper's pretty cool looking, actually. I think if I got another tattoo, it'd probably be of the Grim Reaper. And they'd be like, Kevin, I'm on your skin, but when you die, I'll still be on your skin, but you won't be anywhere. You'll just be like, it'd be like a wrong buzzer. Maybe that's what death is like. All you hear for the rest of eternity is, I don't know. We're coming up on a time where we can get our consciousness loaded into computers. We'll live forever either way. So then again, if you do that and it's never turned off, would you go to heaven? If I could get your conscious mind with all of its thoughts and all of its biases loaded into a computer where it could continue to exist indefinitely, and you died, you could continue to be you. Think all the thoughts you think, talk to the people through electronic means that you want to talk to. But are you missing heaven then? Crazy thing, isn't it? Crazy to think about, and yet it's coming. Right around the corner, it's coming. So anyway, the climate change thing is real. I encourage you to read up on it. Nobody's trying to get some sort of... I mean, there are going to be those people, entrepreneurs and worse, that show up in this wave of climate change adjustment and try to take your money. Okay, how's that different from any other industry that was necessary? How is it any different? It's not. It's not. These scientists, man, you got to think about them. They grow up. They go to school. They go home every day and every weekend and study their fucking asses off to get into a good college. And then they study their fucking asses off there to be a professional and get good grades and graduate cum laude. And they're probably in a fraternity, which I don't want to talk about because there's certainly dark secrets there. Yeah, big deal. And they come out into the world and you think their goal suddenly is to fool you. They've been taught year after year after year after year that if you cannot prove it repeatedly in a laboratory setting with control groups, it ain't fact. It may be a good idea, it may be worth digging into, but it ain't proven. 97% of those people on this planet today say climate change is outside of its natural cycle right now. I encourage you to ask questions, probe, poke, learn, look at what the 3% that disagree with this, look at what they're saying, look at their history, look at their funding sources, what they're trying to do. Some of them may be entirely genuine. But to hear Ted Cruz today say that people that believe climate change is an unnatural cycle are just like the flat earth people, get the fuck out of here. Seriously? Have you looked at the data at all? Look, if you don't want to believe it, I know you're not going to go look up the information. I know you won't. But when I first heard it, when I first saw An Inconvenient Truth back in 2003 maybe, somewhere right in there, I said, this looks kind of alarmist. I mean, is he, what's going on here? Is he just trying to, I don't know, scare people? Why would he do? I mean, he's not running for office. What's he doing here? And I looked into it. And slowly but surely, at first I was like, I'm not sure. It looks iffy. Something's going on, but I'm not sure it's as big as he made it sound in that particular documentary. Well, now the science is solid and strong and repeatable in a laboratory environment. The measurement